Hello there, friends. Kelly here with the Hopeful Homeschooling Podcast. And I want to thank you for joining me for today's episode. We are going to offer you all kinds of homeschool help, hope, and hopefully a little bit of humor as we talk about 7 reasons that every homeschool mom should attend a convention. Now, friends, if you are not a subscriber to this channel, let me invite you to join me by hitting that subscribe button so that you get notified every time we have a new episode. Last week, we talked about growing as a homeschool mom through books. We talked about how you can invest in yourself as you strengthen your mindset and build confidence through reading, right? Which that's how we teach our children, right? So we might as well teach ourselves, right? Today, we are going to continue that theme of growing as a homeschooler, but this time we're going to take it outside of our own home. We're talking the homeschool conventions, of course. Now, if you've never been to a convention, I understand they can feel intimidating. There's crowds and vendor halls, there's workshops and keynote sessions, and just so many options. And next week, I'm going to be giving you some of my best tips for getting the most out of your convention experience. But today, I'm going to remind you why conventions can be one of the most powerful investments that you can make in your homeschool all year long. We've got 7 reasons, and I cannot wait to dig into them. Now, if we have never met before, I do want to introduce myself real quick. My name is Kelly Warner with the Hopeful Homeschooling Podcast. I am a veteran homeschool mom with more than a decade of experience. I have attended the local convention here in the state of Maine for many years now, and I am really excited to be a speaker at this year's event. I'll drop a link in the show notes if you'd like to attend that convention with me. All right, so let's dig into it. These 7 reasons why you should consider attending your local convention. And before we dig into it, I do want to let you know we might go a little long, right? I've got the gift of gab. Okay, so number 1, encouragement that you can feel. Now, there is something extremely validating, friend, of walking into a convention hall that is filled with homeschool families. You look around as you see moms and dads and kids, and you realize I'm not the only one. Now, yeah, we know, right, that there are millions of homeschoolers all around our country and the world. Yet sometimes we feel like we are the only one struggling with math at the kitchen table, or like we are the only family who doesn't really know if we should continue our curriculum, even though it's February, right? Sometimes we feel like we're the only one wrestling with transcripts at the 11th hour. Yet there's encouragement just walking through the door as you see hundreds, if not thousands, of other families. And there's this atmosphere that's just welcoming and engaging. And just walking in, you are reminded that homeschooling is so much bigger than just you sitting at your living room, on your couch, reading a story, teaching history. This is the kind of encouragement that will carry you as a homeschooler for months. It's going to help you pull out of that, February slump and finish this year planning for the future year, for the fall session. It's going to give you momentum. It's going to give you the desire and the drive that perhaps you need at this point in the year. So the second thing that you are going to get, friend, when you attend your local homeschool convention is clarity. Clarity right in the midst of the overwhelm that you might be feeling. Because I get it, homeschooling can feel noisy, whether you're homeschooling one or, a whole baseball team worth, right? Instagram, it tells you to do one thing. Pinterest tells you another. Your neighbor down the road says this is the only way to homeschool. And of course, the co-op leader, boy, they love their program. Not to mention all of us online, right? Telling you, read this, choose this, pick this. You'll love that. Conventions can help you cut through the noise, though, because they give you an opportunity to sit under experienced speakers. These are homeschoolers who have gone through multiple seasons, homeschoolers that have been where you have been, the veterans of the movement that can help you to gain clarity. They can help you figure out the difference between what really matters and what doesn't, right? What is essential in your homeschool versus what's just busy work. How can you simplify, even with sticking with your curriculum, and what can you let go of? You're going to leave the convention with a direction, not confusion. And this direction, it gives you clarity. And of course, clarity can help reduce anxiety, decision fatigue, and just frustration. So, the third thing you're going to get from your convention experience, friend, is confidence through the conviction that you're going to get, right? Because one of the biggest struggles we face as homeschool moms, right? And I'm talking to myself too, excuse me, is second guessing. Are we doing enough? We think, right? We wonder, are they behind? Even if we know they're not. We question if we picked the right curricula, or is this person qualified? Am I qualified? What am I doing? All of these questions, they run through our heads and our hearts frequently. And I'm of the persuasion, honestly, the better you're doing, the more you wonder if you're failing. Yet when you attend a workshop, okay, the workshop is going to help you to reinforce both the philosophy and the purpose of home education. And when that gets reinforced, friend, your conviction to continue educating at home deepens. Now, if you haven't started your homeschool journey, you can learn how to start homeschooling right at your local convention, right? And your confidence is going to grow. You're going to leave this convention. And this is for everybody. Brand new homeschoolers, those that have been at it for a few years, and even seasoned veterans, okay? You're going to walk out of your convention thinking, yep, this is why we're doing this. You're going to know beyond a shadow of a doubt, yes, I can lead my family and I can lead them well as a home educator. And you are going to 100% know that you are on the right path. And friend, that is powerful. That is worth so much more than whatever the minimal cost of your ticket to attend is. And I know it varies depending on where you're going, if you have to travel, if you have to stay overnight. But friend, this convention season is a worthwhile investment in you as an educator. All right, so the fourth thing that you will get, friend, out of your convention experience is community. And I'm talking community that extends beyond the weekend, right? Sure, you've got sessions at your convention that you can sit through, speakers and workshops and educational opportunities, but you also have the opportunity to have a conversation in the hallway. You can laugh over lunch when you meet a new family. You're going to stand in line and perhaps realize that the woman standing right next to you, they just live right in the next town over. And oh, hey, their kids are about the same age as yours. Some of the best homeschool friendships can begin right there in the halls of the convention. This is where you might meet a co-op leader, find a new homeschool mentor, meet a mom who's just one season ahead of you and you know she's going to help you, or meet a mom who's in the season you just came through. You know, one of my favorite sessions was Peggy from Sped Homeschooling. One of my first conventions, she spoke, and I just sat there completely enthralled as she mentored me through a season. Okay. Growth happens in community, and your homeschool community can be found right there in the halls of your local convention. All right, number 5, friend, hands-on access to curricula and resources. And if you're multitasking, right, come back. Come back for just a second, because there is a huge difference, friend, between looking at something online where you've got a sales page and you've got copy that's been perfectly written. Every word is chosen to kind of make the program shine, right? But when you're holding it in your hands, no amount of sales copy can change what you're seeing, right? At the convention, you have the ability to flip through the books and learn about the programs. Okay, you can compare side by side as representatives are there with the programs answering your questions. And sometimes you're even talking to the creator, especially if it's just, a small homeschool advocate like myself, right? We're there. We've got our programs, we've got it all laid out, and you can talk to us about the process of the creation of the program and how to use it or how to adapt it. You're going to see in real life, like the paper book. I didn't grab any of my physical products, but you can see the layout. What does the chapter look like? Do you like the binding? Is this something that you want to buy a digital copy of so you can print at home, or would you prefer to buy the physical copy? Okay. You can gauge the level of the program with, granted, placement tests are great, but you can gauge the level of the program by putting eyes on it and seeing, does it start out really easy, right? Will your children blow through the first quarter but slow down in second? Or should you step up or down a level? And of course, you can evaluate the quality of the program. Does the binding work really well? Are the pages thin? Right? You can determine if your homeschool dollars, which are valuable and precious, right, should be spent on this program, or will they be better spent elsewhere? This alone can save you hundreds of dollars in missed purchases, which, no shame, okay? We've all bought programs that we ended up not loving, right? We've all got something stuffed away in the closet that we thought was going to be perfect and it wasn't. It's okay, it happens. However, at a curriculum sale at the convention, you can avoid the impulse decisions because you're seeing the material. And this isn't even in my notes, but oftentimes, at least the conventions I've attended, there is a used curriculum sell swap opportunity. So if you really want to stretch those homeschool dollars, check that out as well. Because sometimes the program you've been eyeing might be at a greatly discounted rate or one you wouldn't normally buy because you don't want to spend that amount of money. You can swing it and justify it. Okay. Now, as someone who loves simplicity, friend, I appreciate anything that helps us choose our next homeschool year wisely rather than reactively. And for me, touching the curricula is such a huge part of that. All right. So, number 6, friend, you're going to get from your homeschool convention experience a fresh vision for your next season of homeschooling. Okay, you're going to walk out of there motivated to finish this year and excited about planning for next year, even if you're a relaxed homeschooler who doesn't do a ton of planning. Okay, conventions help you zoom out and see the big picture of homeschooling rather than being stuck and frustrated because the math lessons haven't been going well for a few days, or perhaps your teenager is just, they're stuck in a funk, right? You're reminded of the bigger picture that there's character building happening. There is a relationship that is worth so much more than passing a math test. And you're reminded of the long-term goal that you should have for your children as a homeschooler, even a relaxed one, right? This renewed vision is going to carry you through the end of this year. It's going to help you to plan for next year. And maybe it'll even help you finally pull out of that survival period of homeschooling and find the confidence that you need as a homeschooler, right? And that's big. All right. Lastly, friend, the last thing that you are going to get out of your trip to the local homeschool convention, it's personal growth for you. Now, this one's important. So again, if you're multitasking, right? If you've got the vacuum running or if you've got kids in the car with you, like just pause for a second, right? Ask everybody to hush because you need to know that growing as a homeschooler is so important for you, friend. You see, conventions aren't just about the kids, although they're more than welcome to attend, right? Oftentimes there's games and activities and opportunities for the children, but the convention is more about you, the homeschool parent, the educator in the home. And when you invest in your mindset and your skill set, when you invest in yourself as a leader and build your confidence, friend, your homeschool improves. It graduates to a new level, full stop, right? Sometimes this investment does look like taking a 2, 3 day weekend, pausing the homeschool lessons if you have to, right? Giving you the opportunity to sit, to learn, and to grow. That's not selfish and it's not a waste of time. It is strategic investment in yourself as a homeschooler. And for many families, oftentimes the parents will do the convention together. It's a little getaway, right? It's time to build into your marriage as much as it is to build in yourself as a homeschooler. And that's vital. Oftentimes you'll see families that attend together. It's an annual thing. And they meet up with friends that they've made over the years and they grow and they experience. Okay. The convention, it's a wonderful opportunity. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, I am so excited to be speaking at the Maine Homeschool Convention hosted by Homeschoolers of Maine this year. I have two amazing sessions that I cannot wait to share. The first, of course, is how to start homeschooling, right? How to get going, because we all know this is the time of year new homeschoolers and prospective homeschoolers are considering their options for fall. So I'm going to dive deep into how to start homeschooling. And I'm even going to make sure that we're talking about how to start homeschooling in Maine, right? Because we have our own rules. Next, I'm going to be talking about how to make your homeschool simple, right? Because we don't need complicated and complex. We need simple solutions that work. And I'm going to be sharing those. Now, if you happen to be in the state of Maine or nearby, right? If you're up here in the Northeast and you feel like traveling, it is being held at a fancy little resort. And I would absolutely love to see you in person, friend. Come say hi. Let's get to know each other because there is nothing better than building our homeschool community and getting to know one another face to face. All right, friend, if you feel stuck, if you are just feeling discouraged and down and unsure, odds are you just need a little bit of encouragement and perhaps a new community, right? Someone that's going to refresh your perspective and just remind you that homeschooling is hard but doable. So, friend, I'm going to invite you, if you have not bought a ticket to whatever local homeschool conventions are in your area, take some time today to research them, talk with your husband, see if it's in the budget, and figure out how you can get yourself to the homeschool convention. And I'd love to know, pop in the comments wherever you're listening, what conventions are you attending this year? And tell me why you're going. Okay. Now, friend, if this episode encouraged you at all, right? If I gave you any sort of insight, wisdom, inspiration, I would absolutely be humbled if you would consider liking and subscribing. Of course, dropping that comment to tell me what convention you're going to. And of course, sharing this with other homeschoolers who may be just sitting where you are and just need that infusion of excitement and encouragement. Now, friend, next week we are going to be talking, like I said, about how to get the most out of your convention experience. And the best way to make sure that you get access to next week's episode, of course, is to subscribe. So don't forget to do that. Friend, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next week. Bye for now.